It won't let me upload a picture, but it'll let me go live. Who knows? Okay. I will get my technological deficiencies taken care of. Wow. So, let's see what I can do here. Left. Setting up the audio. Now it's gonna be too much bass. Quick little check-in here. Doing a little video on some stuff on the internet. And well, gonna have something to eat and then get going. I'll give some people some time to get in the room, and I'd be surprised. I'm surprised that I even have signal. It's really odd. It was saying that I couldn't upload a picture, but the swirling thing there would let me go. It was going really fast. Who knows? It's the interwebs. Just chilling for a bit. Hope everybody's doing good. I put together a few things for you that you may or may not know about that's going on in the world. Bring it to you, and then I wanted to talk about power that you don't even know you have. So, let's see if I can't get into this and make a decent showing of myself here. See what we got. I've been on Twitter. I've been all over every website I could think of. And I've been checking out some stuff on the Boeing 737 situation too. Found some stuff that was pretty interesting on it. I was going to give some people some time to get into the room. I'm not showing any if you have just jumped in. I'm in a situation where I don't have the greatest signal in the world, and it's not going to work perfectly. So if you want, make a comment, hit the like button, do what you do. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and go into this. The similarities between the two Boeing 737s that crashed were so great that they shut down all Boeing 737s. And then they only put out just enough information saying that they believe that by the end of the month that they will have the software problem that they do know of, that they would have it fixed. So I learned a little bit more about the situation, and it's a little more complicated than that. The 737, the MAX 8 and MAX 9s that they shut down, they run off of a software system. And there's two different styles of software system that's currently being used in airplanes, and it all has to do with the way they work. One of them, and it's how they read a stall event. A stall event is whenever you climb and create a situation so that the air doesn't give lift on the wings, and it can't be controlled by it creates turbulence, and it makes it so that basically your rudders don't work. So the thing is, when they train pilots, they teach them about stalls in the aircraft they're going to be flying, and then it's just, you know, rudimentary training kind of thing. What do you do during a stall? But then every time you get into a different aircraft, you have to learn that type of an aircraft's stall, because every one of them is going to be a little bit different. The airplanes now fly themselves when they go into automatic pilot. So the software in the airplane takes over. So having said that, the thing is, there's different softwares for different airplanes. And these new airplanes have a new type of software. So under routine flight where there's not a stall, the software in those planes would work fine. Even the new ones. Both types of software, the new ones and the older software. But if there's any kind of a stall event, the older type of software, okay, I believe it's called the CAS system. There's two different systems. And I can put a link to a guy who can explain it. He's an actual pilot, but there's two different systems. One of them will let the pilot know that there's a stall event and tell the pilot there's a problem and you need to take over. The second type of software, the newer software, recognizes that there's a problem but doesn't tell the pilot that there's a problem, and on top of that, compounding that, says there's not a problem and the computer will still be in control. That creates a problem. The computer trying to correct something that it's not used to, like a stall event, because that's something that a pilot's supposed to take over, because the computer can't really correct for a stall event. So the new software, not only does it tell the pilot there's really not a problem, compounds that by saying that not only is there not a problem, but I'm going to stay in control as the computer. But then when the pilot tries to fight that system, the computer fights back. So those airplanes that crashed were going into a stall event. You're going to have to take my word on this until they let it out, but they were going into a stall event. The computer, to correct, thought it should go into a nosedive, and the pilots, in order to fix that, were trying to climb. And then there was accidents. In both cases, they were similar. They found both the black boxes, and that's what happened. The new software for the 737s is going to be corrected by the end of the month, because they're going to probably change it to the software, the new software. So I can put a link up to a pilot who can go into greater depth of explanation of that I found. There's one on YouTube that he explains it in a way similar to some of the websites that I've looked at. So I'll just go with his stuff. I'll defer to him. And he can explain it if you want to know more. But basically, the planes were, both of them, they were going into a stall. Normally the computer should tell the pilot to take over. Instead, it didn't alert the pilot of a problem and say take over. It made the pilot think everything was fine and said don't take over and I'm going to continue. And the pilots noticed that they were going into a nosedive, and they tried to pull up and the computer fought against them and it crashed the plane. You have to have lift and you can't have turbulence. That's it. You got to have thrust and lift. So other than that, I'll defer you for anything else about the Maxim and the CAS systems to that pilot explaining it. And it's real deep and it's thick and you're going to have to get your head wrapped around it. Just know that it takes him about halfway through the explanation, and he's from another country and English is his second language. But he did make a video because he's a pilot trainer. Alright, so going out of the 737s that are all still shut down, and that they're probably going to go back to the old software, and it's probably that quick of a fix. Okay, Venezuela is in day 10 of no power. So The morgues were full at like day 3. Diabetic people can't get insulin. Some of their stuff's coming from Mexico, but they're supposed to keep it refrigerated. And Vice did a video on that and was talking to a woman who is going to have to take the insulin anyways, even though it may be bad and it might even kill her. She says, I'm going to take a prayer and I'm going to take it. There's people down there that are drinking raw sewage just because it's liquid. I know it's nasty, but they don't even have water because the power goes out, and the power goes out. The water pump at the the pump at the water plant pumping station can't pump water without electricity. So some of the country is starting to get power again. There's people who are in the streets with like 15 cell phones and a whole bunch of wires huddled up around one little power outlet, like that's their connection to the world, and they're all sitting there plugged in. But there's people that are going down to this sewage, I guess you call it a ditch. It's concrete, and going down there and getting that water and drinking that water, and also drinking polluted water. They're drinking water, whatever's liquid, whatever they can, because at this point it's day number 10. There's rioting, they're breaking into places, looting in the streets, kind of stuff going on in Venezuela. That's what happens when the lights go out, basically. Let's see here. Oh, and they were trying to blame the U.S. for doing it over the internet when their system is analog. It's not even connected to the internet. They're grabbing at straws and whatever. So, and by the way, Juan Guaido down there said that there's 1,000% inflation right now, and welcomes AOC, Sanders, and any other socialist that wants to go down there and see what real socialism can do to a country, and how it doesn't work. He welcomes them all to come down there and see what it's all about. So he's let out the welcome mat for anybody who really wants to be educated. He said he wants to educate these people on what real socialism does. So anyways, they've got, I was told by Rattler about, there was some kid did a video on a bicycle. He rode for exactly 2 miles in California, and in those 2 miles it was covered with homeless people for 2 miles. So they're missing and overlooking 2 miles of homeless people. There's a poop app now to have people know where to go where there's not crap in the streets. And but yet California, in order to take care of illegal immigrants, they're giving them licenses and IDs, same as Wisconsin. But now they're actually, as far as Twitter says, and they put this stuff out on Twitter first before you ever get to see any news, California is under a federal investigation over multiple registration fraud and voter fraud. They're giving one person the right to vote twice, and they're giving people the right to vote that shouldn't have the right to vote, signing up people that shouldn't be. So they're getting busted for that. They're going to lose a lot of votes that way, I guess. So anyways, and they're put on Twitter. It's really, it's funny and it's sad at the same time. It's just messed up. We have a Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court that is either missing or won't, show herself. She's not in good health, or they say, people are saying that she's already passed away. I don't have an opinion on that. They're doing Weekend at Bernie's memes and all kinds of stuff on that. The thing is, if she can't be seen, they just need to go ahead and replace her. It's just that they're fighting Trump getting another elected in conservative judge on the Supreme Court. That's what it boils down to. So who knows what's going on with that? But it just happens to be, I think she's either 85 or 86 today is her birthday. So nothing on the news about how she's doing great and all this, even though it's a pretty good age to say, hey, look, she lived this long. And someone set up a fake Hillary Clinton page on Twitter and put up there, Ginsburg would have been 85 today. And then everybody jumped on it and said, really? Nobody said nothing about what happened to her and when did she? Yeah. So that's just something that was trending on Twitter. Um, it's kind of crazy. I don't think they'll admit to defeat. I don't think they'll admit to anything, and it'd be, anything except for to make our country better. Anything, right? Anything but to help people to live better lives. So with that, I'm going to get into a discussion real quick, and then I'm going to get off this thing. I won't be on here too long. People, you don't know how much power you really have. Just like I'm teaching people on the internet how to work on trucks and stuff. I've got videos, where something will break and I'm videoing it, right? There's an old movie, Ben-Hur. And when he was taken captive and made to work below decks as a captured slave on a ship where they had taken people who had fought against them from other countries, put them below decks rowing. And they were in shackles and they had to row. Their basic job was to ram other ships, and if they were rammed, they would sink and die. And they knew it because they were chained to the oar, basically. That's galley row. They were on galley row. Well, if they were about to hit a rock on their right side and someone up above decks gave an order that would get them killed to row more to the right, and they knew it, if they rowed to the right, they would die. If they rowed to the left, they could actually avoid death, but they might be beaten for it. Okay? But here's the thing, people. You don't realize how much power you have. Because even if you're on galley row, and even if you look at the powers that are in control of the country, and all you have is a little place that you could do something on the internet to make the world better, you have the power to stop rowing and to stick your row in the water, and you can turn a boat without a rudder. So if everybody on the right side just stuck their, or I'm sorry, on the left side, if you get away from the rocks on the right, but if you stuck your oar in the water, you can steer the boat without much effort at all, if you think about it. Just stop rowing and steer the boat. Right the ship. There's a lot of small communities like this one that I'm in right now that have been economically challenged over the years to have small shops. I was talking to a small shop owner earlier, and there used to be a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker, right, in every town. And then you'd have the blacksmith, and you had this kind of stuff, right? Well, what people don't realize is they all work together. Because instead of going out and starting a herd of cattle, the blacksmith stuck to what he knew and would buy cattle or beef from the farmer who was raising them, and corn from the farm, So what I'm saying here is all these little towns out here, and they're not utilizing what they have in front of them. And that's why I started to put up some stuff about how to set up YouTube channels and stuff. Basically how to set up camera mounts and this kind of thing. Because, I'm writing a situation where drivers have been dumped on us and they haven't been trained. And there's things that even trained drivers could know to keep them from being broke down and freezing to death or causing traffic backups for everybody else, right? These little towns, if you have a small business and you set up a YouTube channel, then you get on Twitter and then you get on Facebook and you tell everybody you know, and they will support you. They'll see what you're doing. And then you set up kind of like a quilting bee, kind of like where you get a bunch of people together and you say, hey, look, we're going to have what it's called is networking. Let's say we're going to set up a commerce bee, like a quilting bee, but a commerce bee, right? And you network with the butcher, baker, candlestick maker, whatever you got in your area. One person could have an art place. One person could have a business that's, alterations. Another person, the florist. All the things that are in a small town. And then set up a page on Facebook. It's all free advertising. And then at some point, YouTube does pay for commercials and stuff. But even if it doesn't get that big, it's a way to connect with other people. It's networking. You don't just have to be on the phone all the time. And you can share video of what you do for a living and show and say, and we're here to service you. And then you got to think globally. Because the whole world will look at you and say, wait, you know what? I support that and I like that and I'll order something from them. And then you set up a web page and you go from there. So there's a lot of people walking around with $300 iPhones, better than what I've got, and they don't know the power that they have in their hands. All they have to do is stop rowing so hard and stick the oar in the water, and they can turn their ship. And they don't even know it. I'm going to start doing some videos. Like I said, disregard them if you don't like them, but it's to help out some of these small communities. Some of them, big box stores haven't even gotten here, but just the sales on Amazon and sales everywhere else have hurt them. And I'm going to be putting out information on how people can grow their business by using YouTube, by using social media to do videos on what they do and teach what they know so that it doesn't get lost for the next generation. So if that doesn't affect you or your community, that's fine. But I think it should be out there because there's people who, a lot of them are a little older and they're not used to this new technology and they don't know what they're holding in their hands and the power that they actually have. And they're rowing their asses off and getting nowhere. And they're stuck on Galley Row. I'll put up a link to the video of Ben-Hur when he was taken as slave and put below deck and made to work on Galley Row. And we're all in the same situation. We're all rowing, but you don't have to be chained to that oar. You can come up for air every once in a while. So people, I will be putting up some videos on how to set up a YouTube channel, and it may seem rudimentary, but there's people out there who could use it, and if I can set up a playlist and share it with some people, I will be. Anybody want to say anything? I'm just going to listen to some more music and sit back and chill. I got me a little pizza because I support local places. This happens to be a little mom and pop truck stop. They're nice enough to let me park and chill. And so, I go in and I get something to drink and a pizza. Little Hunt Brothers $9.99 deal. Nothing to it. Hope everybody's doing good. Didn't mean to get too deep in on things, but that's how it is. And if you are in a small community and you'd like to help the people there by teaching them, I'm doing that video series for that. Share that playlist with them. And then they can share their stuff and that and whatever on Facebook. And get in touch with your Chamber of Commerce and that kind of thing. But I was telling this person, I was like, look, you could get vinyl lettering from your local sign person, have them stick it in the window and say now you're on Twitter and you're on Facebook, but you're also on YouTube. And they'll look and they'll share your video from YouTube and share it and put the word out, and it will help your business. People don't understand that networking and advertising go hand in hand, and you can build a business by using the $400 iPhone you've got sitting in your hand that you don't even know how to use it. A lot of these people are just now learning how to text. So if I start out a little bit rudimentary and I start putting those videos up, give me a little leeway, because there's some people who really do need to be led by the hand a little to show them. But YouTube itself and starting a channel is so simple, and it's plug and play, and they'll ask the questions you need and then you set it up, and after so many views, or I think you got to have 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers now to monetize, and after so many views, they'll start paying you. There's a threshold, and then it won't pay, and then it will pay. It's like that. So that's what I'll be doing that for. And I was thinking of it as I was starting to make the videos on how to mount a camera, with the windshield mount and the one I did from the ceiling and stuff, because I was starting to think I need to put a little something together, because that way, and somebody asked me the question, how did you start your YouTube channel? How'd you get started? But in the meantime, I think it'll help small communities. I think it'll help a lot of the businesses that they want to do that. They're racking their brain about what can they do to help their business, and they just don't know what to do. And they just need a little helping hand, you know? So even if it helps 100 people, I don't care. I'm going to do it. That's just how I am. And that's what I'm supporting on here. I support somebody just trying to do their thing, no matter what that thing is. You know, a lot of us are just trying to make the world a better place before we go, and we're looking at things and how they're going, and we're like, we don't agree with this. You know, they should teach people more of this. You know, people should know they can do this. So that's what I'm getting into. Anybody wants to make a comment on it, beat up on me about it, that's fine. I don't think I can change the world. I really don't. I think I can stick my oar in the water, though, and right the ship from below decks. I'm not saying I'm giving orders, and I'm not saying I'm above deck. You know? I'm just saying I know the power I have. And you people have the same exact power I do. So I'll give a little bit of the knowledge to you so that you know that you do. And you got an awesome phone in your hand, I'm sure of it. Probably a lot better than mine, because mine is old school. It's nothing to it. It's not a flip phone, but, you know, it's just a little something. So, say what you like. Like I said, I'm going to have another slice of pizza. I'm going to chill, listen to some music, have a cigar. Is what it is. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here, if you're new, check out my playlist if you're a driver. I've got 2 playlists that'll teach you how to not die doing this for a living. One of them is Fix It Vids, and the other one's Trucking Tips. And the rest of it, you'll like it or you won't. Take it or leave it. You know, it's good stuff though. We get together, people are teaching each other, we're helping each other out, we're networking on here. There's another driver that's got a new channel too. He's setting stuff up. That's Kid. We'll be probably doing some videoing of some engine work so that you know what's under your hood besides just a dipstick and a couple of belts they want you to pull on, right? Trying to catch you up to speed, people. There's pistons in there. Pretty good pizza too. Let me get this audio right at some point. That should be better. Who knows? I never know. Yeah, that sounds decent. So won't be on this thing much longer. Enjoy the music, make a comment if you'd like to, and I'm gonna kick out of this thing. Gotta make a living, people. I'm really surprised I even have stream out here. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I am, however, this place is on the map, sort of. Sort of. They caught the biggest alligator. It's the state record not far from here, and there's a tributary of water that leads right up to my truck. So I'm in Alligator Alley, if you call it that. Real big ones. Shoot them, Jacob. Them kind of big ones, you know. They'll make gator nuggets out of you, so yeah, I'll be leaving here. I'm not even going to get out of the truck again. When I saw that picture, they got a picture up in here. I'm like, there's no way. I'm not even going to get out of the truck again. I'm leaving. So. This is good pizza. Yep. I guess by the view of this, it looks like a fuel station just landed out of space. It's kind of wild the way they got it lit up. There is pavement in front of me. And keep in mind, Ben-Hur did make it out from under there. He got out of Galley Road. Mm-hmm. It was a little rougher back then. We use horsepower now. Automated horsepower. Make a comment if you like it. It's not going to be much longer. I'll be here. But I'll be doing whole series of how to set up a YouTube channel. If I have to, if somebody else has already done it, I'll put that into a playlist. I don't care, as long as the info gets out there. Yeah, I'm about to shut this thing down and get rolling. Hope everybody's doing good though. Now I've had a good break. Man, good stuff. And a cigar. Okay, a couple more minutes on a cigar, but yeah. So I'll put up links to everything I was talking about. So oh, and the weather guys on YouTube have thoroughly impressed me at this point. There's this kid, the Schlotthauer kid, the Morales guy, all of them. I'll put up links to their stuff again. You need to check out their 16-day forecast that they have and all their forecasts and stuff. It's really helpful for truckers and for anybody that travels, but it's good to know the weather ahead of time instead of last minute, hey, surprise, you know, but you still got to go to work. Kind of crazy. It has been some rough weather we've been trotting in. I've been doing some ice road trucking. I can assure you of that. Chains just to get down the road to the highway. Just about every time I've shut down. And I'm going back. I'm glutton for punishment. So I got one more trip through that mess. One more last hurrah, one good hard freeze ride. And then I will be out of it because it will be springtime. Then it'll be winds and rain, but not ice and snow. So, and salt trucks and wrecked cars and people that need help getting out of a parking lot. I seen 15 people push a dump truck the other day. That was crazy. Yep. Don't know why the guy didn't have chains. Some of these individual states are now mandating that you have chains on board. Georgia set up a rule like that. There's quite a few of them. And that new wind speed record by the airplane was set, but I'm saying there's high winds that are so dangerous now, they're saying it's illegal to drive empty. I gotta get on top of that. I gotta find that link. I've been working. At least I'll let you know about it though, right? So, appreciate the like. See, I got a like there. Appreciate that. I'm just kicked back, man, chilling. So yeah, they were saying there was some really, really strong winds to blow a train over the other day. Everything's been crazy. It's almost like you can't make a living, but if you wait, if you sit still and know God, I'm just saying, you gotta sit still sometimes and let it all pass. I was in Ohio, I drove down through the hard wind, I shut down, I dropped my landing gear, I pushed it against the ground real hard. I put a lot of pressure on it and it was still blowing me for about an hour. I think it rocked me to sleep. That's my joke about the wind. I just let it rock me to sleep. That's what it did. And yeah, that's that's my joke. So yeah, that or find a hill behind some trees, the Resteria. That's what I was telling kid. I called it a Resteria. He started laughing. It's like, yeah, it's Spanish. You don't know Resteria? It's kind of like if you go to a, you know, carniceria is for steak, a lecheria is for milk, a Resteria is to chill. I gotta do a video on that's not Spanish. They're naming stuff, crazy stuff like bolero and man, bolero. That's not Spanish. And washerita. You know, you would say lavandora for wash or secondora for dry, right? Which second just means second, but really? A washerita. That sounds like a mixed drink. Kind of crazy. Let's see, I got 2 of the strong silent type in here, but that's cool. You're welcome. You can chill, you can be here. Everybody's welcome. I don't kick nobody out. I don't have it in my heart to be mean until somebody's in front of me. Then I'll knock them out, but I'll still help them up. I'll still help them up. I'm that kind of guy. Look, the way I grew up, if you got in a fight, when it was over, you took them to the hospital and you went there together and you made sure the other guy was all right. Maybe that's crazy for some people to understand, but I'm not going to kick out the strong silent type. I'm not going to kick out the grimy drivers either. You're welcome. You're here because you want to hear something and you want to learn. Or you're here because you want to see if I'm talking about you. But I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't have it in me for that either. You know, is what it is. I'm the kind of person, I'm just like, you know, everybody's doing the thing. Do your thing. Lift up your fellow man and help them to do their thing. So, but I gotta get off this thing and I gotta get to it. And I gave y'all some time to talk if you wanted to and to make a comment. I really do have to get off this thing though. And so y'all stay safe out there. And I think we're at the end of this winter. I think we're gonna be all right. The next weather event or anything I hear about, I will put up weather links on here that you should be watching every Sunday. The one guy, Morales, and then the Schlotthauer kid, and then the other guy. There's a few of them. Mr. 3BBB or something like that. It's kind of hard for me to remember. I'll put that up. It's good stuff. You know, people are creating stuff all the time that's good for us. So, making the world better. And you got more power than you know. So if the rowing and the seas get too hard, people, listen to me. Stop rowing. And stick your oar in the water to turn the way you need to go. That's all I got for you. I'm going to put that link up and you'll understand what I'm talking about. They didn't even know the power they had. They're moving the whole ship and don't even know the power they have. So, stay safe. I'm going to get off this thing. And if I find out about anything else I need to let y'all know about weather or something that's important to trucking, I will. I got you. We'll talk to you later, people. I'm out. Peace.